Ladies and gentlemen, there is a quiet moment before the miracle. A stillness that feels like silence, a delay that feels like denial. But do not be fooled, because when God is about to give you something big, He first checks to see if you're ready to carry it. When something significant is meant for your life, it doesn't arrive instantly. It isn't handed over like a prize or a trophy. It's earned through quiet seasons of preparation, often when no one is watching. The world may measure success by speed, but divine timing operates by strength, and strength is only developed in the shadows, not in the spotlight. When you've been marked for something big, life begins to shape you before it blesses you. That shaping can feel like delay, like rejection, like being overlooked, but in truth, it's strategy. God prepares people before He promotes them. Preparation isn't always obvious. Sometimes it looks like closed doors. Other times it feels like failure. You might be doing everything right, yet still feel like nothing is moving. But what's really happening is internal. Your habits are being tested. Your discipline is being built. Your faith is being challenged. Not to break you, but to mature you. Because what's coming can't be handled by someone who is careless with their time, undisciplined with their thoughts, or ungrateful in small beginnings. The reason preparation matters is because big blessings bring big responsibility. Everyone wants elevation, but not everyone is prepared for what comes with it. Influence, abundance, leadership, they all demand a version of you that is focused, rooted, and stable. Without that inner foundation, the very thing you were waiting for can become the thing that breaks you. That's why divine timing never rushes. It doesn't give gifts until the hands meant to hold them are steady. When God is about to give you something big, He first watches how you handle the small, how you treat the season you don't want, how you show up when you're tired, unseen, or discouraged. Because if you can't honor the little, you won't sustain the great. The process is not punishment, it's alignment. It's training you to manage pressure before the platform, to maintain peace before the promotion, and to develop consistency without applause. The level of preparation always matches the weight of what's coming. And when the time is right, there will be no struggle in stepping into the blessing. Because by then, you won't just be ready for it, you'll be built for it. Struggle is not always a sign that something is wrong. In fact, it's often the clearest sign that something greater is on the way. When life begins to press down on you, when obstacles stack up, when everything feels like it's resisting your progress, it's easy to assume you've taken a wrong turn. But struggle, in many cases, is a sign of proximity. You are not far from breakthrough, you're brushing against it. The resistance you feel is the tension between who you are now and who you're becoming. The closer you get to something big, the more intense the pressure becomes. It's like a storm before the dawn. Just as a seed must break through the soil to reach the light, you too must push through layers of doubt, fear, and limitation to access what's been prepared for you. But unlike ordinary discomfort, this kind of struggle has purpose. It's not chaos, it's construction. You are being built, tested, and stretched because your next level requires a different level of strength. This is why so many people give up right before their turning point. They misread the storm as rejection instead of preparation. But the pressure's not here to stop you, it's here to see what you're made of. It asks questions that comfort never will. Can you stay focused when it hurts? Can you believe in your future while standing in your current mess? Can you stay in position when everything in you wants to run? What separates those who rise from those who remain is not luck, talent, or timing, it's endurance. It's the quiet decision to keep moving even when the path is unclear. It's the choice to see struggle not as a dead end, but as a doorway. Because when you're being pushed, it means you're close to something that can't be accessed by the version of you that hasn't been tested. Struggle chisels you, humbles you, and awakens you. It forces out what's fragile so that only what's solid remains. Every pressure point is an invitation to grow deeper roots. And the stronger your roots, the greater your capacity to sustain what's ahead. Struggle is not the opposite of blessing. It's often its beginning. Every next level of your life demands a new version of you. The dreams you carry, the opportunities you're waiting for, the breakthroughs you're praying for, they are not delayed because they are unavailable, but because you're still becoming the person who can truly handle them. Growth is not just about external achievement, it's about internal capacity. There are blessings that could destroy you if they showed up before your character was ready to hold them. What you're asking for isn't too big, but it may be too heavy for who you are right now. Best is why transformation always precedes elevation. Life will not give you what you want, it will give you what you are ready to sustain. And readiness isn't based on how badly you want it, but how disciplined, clear, and mature you've become. The challenge is most people want the result without the refinement. They want the platform without the pressure, the abundance without the structure, the influence without the responsibility. But greatness doesn't work like that. It requires you to evolve before you arrive. The process of becoming is uncomfortable because it means letting go of old habits, outdated mindsets, and limited beliefs. It demands accountability. It forces you to take ownership of your decisions, to be honest about your weaknesses, and to do the unseen work that success requires. This is where many people turn back. The price of transformation feels too high. But without that inner work, you will sabotage the very thing you're asking for. You'll get it and won't know how to keep it. You'll attract it and won't know how to manage it, so life, in its wisdom, waits. Not to deny you, but to develop you. Everything you go through is shaping you. Every delay is building patience. Every closed door is sharpening your discernment. Every setback is training your resilience. The very struggles you resent are the workouts for your soul, because when the opportunity comes, it won't give you time to get ready. You'll have to already be ready. You'll need to have the mindset, the habits, and the emotional stability to step into it fully. The bigger the blessing, the stronger the vessel must be. And the version of you that's coming out of this process will be capable of holding everything you once felt unworthy of. There are seasons when silence feels like the loudest answer. You've prayed, worked, waited, and believed, yet nothing seems to move. Doors stay closed, opportunities stall, and progress feels invisible. In these moments, it's easy to assume that you've been forgotten or overlooked. But silence is not absence, it's preparation. It is in the quiet spaces that the deepest refinement happens. When nothing seems to be happening around you, everything is happening within you. That silence is not God withholding, it's God watching. Not with indifference, but with intention. This silence is not meant to break you, it's meant to build you. It's where you learn to walk without sight, to trust beyond what you can calculate, to persist without applause. When the noise is gone and the distractions have faded, you're left with only one thing, yourself. And that is exactly where transformation begins. You learn what you believe when there's no audience. You discover your strength when there's no external reward. It is in silence that true faith is tested, because anyone can be consistent when the results are obvious. But consistency in silence is what separates those who are merely inspired from those who are truly anchored. The silence is also strategic. It creates space for clarity. In the rush of success or the noise of constant movement, you can lose sight of your true motives. You begin to chase validation instead of vision. But silence clears the fog. It strips away ego and forces you to confront what you're really building and why. It brings you face to face with your own impatience and teaches you how to wait without wasting the wait. There is no wasted season when you are still learning, still growing, still becoming. Often, the silence comes just before the shift. It's the deep inhale before the exhale of breakthrough. It's the stillness before the wind changes direction. And it takes wisdom to not confuse silence with rejection. Just because you can't see movement doesn't mean momentum isn't building. Growth doesn't always make noise. Some of the strongest roots grow in complete darkness. The silence doesn't mean you're off track. It means you're being aligned. It's the space where pride is removed, patience is matured, and preparation is completed. So that when the blessing arrives, it doesn't feel like a surprise, it feels like confirmation. When things begin to fall apart around you, relationships end, doors close, routines collapse, it's natural to feel like you're losing everything. But loss is often the first sign of alignment. What feels like subtraction is sometimes sacred redirection. The removal isn't always punishment. It's preparation. There are blessings you've been praying for that cannot exist in the same space as the things you're being asked to release. Not because those things are inherently bad, but because they are no longer aligned with who you are becoming. You cannot step into your next chapter while dragging the weight of what belongs to your last one. There are people, habits, and environments that were only meant to carry you for a season. When that season ends, what once supported you starts to suffocate you. What once comforted you starts to confuse you. Letting go isn't just emotional, it's spiritual. It's an act of faith, a declaration that you trust the unknown more than you trust what's familiar but misaligned. Alignment often requires solitude. When you're being shifted into position for something greater, distractions fall away. The noise lowers, the circle gets smaller. Not because you're broken, but because you're being positioned. Life is pruning you, making room for what's next. And pruning always looks like loss to the untrained eye. But in truth, it's a setup. It's the way the universe creates space for new growth, new connections, and new power to enter your life. The problem is, we often try to keep what we're supposed to outgrow. We cling to roles we've already evolved past. We try to resuscitate relationships that are no longer healthy. But what you cling to in fear, you delay in faith. The tighter you hold on to the past, the harder it becomes to receive what's meant for your future. Loss is not always about what's being taken from you. It's about what's being cleared for you. There's a version of your life that you haven't seen yet, a version that requires more of your attention, more of your courage, more of your truth. And to live it, something has to give. That something might be comfort, it might be control, it might even be certain identities you've outgrown. But as painful as release can be, it is often the only way to make room for the alignment that brings purpose, peace, and the kind of growth you've been asking for all along. Endurance is not glamorous. It doesn't get praised and it rarely feels good, but it's the bridge between where you are and where you're meant to be. Most people quit not because they lack vision, but because they lack stamina. They begin with excitement, filled with passion and belief, but when the results don't show up on their timeline, they retreat. They assume delay is denial, and that resistance means they're on the wrong path. But endurance isn't about ignoring the struggle. It's about learning to walk through it with purpose. When you're close to a breakthrough, everything in you will be tempted to step back. Fear will disguise itself as logic. Discomfort will whisper lies that make quitting sound noble. You'll start wondering if maybe you aimed too high. Maybe you misread the signs. Maybe it's not meant to be. But this is exactly the moment when you're being measured, not by your talent, not by your potential, but by your commitment. Endurance is the evidence that you trust the process, even when it's silent, even when it's slow. Breakthrough doesn't come to those who try once and give up. It comes to those who show up on the days they don't feel like it, those who keep pushing even when no one is watching, those who build in the dark, stay grounded in the storm, and believe in the unseen. Endurance is the trait that separates dreamers from doers. It is the discipline to continue despite the discomfort, to believe despite the delay, to grow even when the growth is not visible yet. When you refuse to retreat, you send a message, not just to yourself, but to life. You show that you're not here to flirt with purpose. You're here to marry it. You're not waiting for convenience, you're anchored in conviction. The longer you hold the line, the more unshakable your foundation becomes. Each day you endure, your character strengthens, your vision clarifies, and your future aligns more closely with your faith. Many people lose their miracle not because it wasn't coming, but because they stepped away too soon. They misinterpreted pressure as a sign to quit instead of proof that they were close. But pressure is often the final gate before the promise. And those who endure, who keep building, who keep believing, are the ones who arrive not just at the blessing, but with the strength to carry it well. Divine timing is not driven by your deadlines. It doesn't respond to pressure, panic, or impatience. When something significant is meant for your life, it arrives at the moment you're truly ready for it, not when you're desperate for it. The delay you're experiencing isn't meant to frustrate you, it's meant to protect you. Because a blessing given too soon can feel like a burden. What you think you're ready for emotionally, spiritually, or financially may still require deeper preparation. There are things you've asked for that would overwhelm you if they came before your foundation was set. This is why divine timing is often misunderstood. It doesn't say no, it says not yet. Not because you aren't worthy, but because you're still being prepared to receive and maintain what's coming. Quick success can collapse just as quickly without inner strength to support it. Divine timing ensures that what you're given doesn't break you, that your gift doesn't outgrow your character, and that you don't fumble what was meant to elevate you. It's easy to compare your journey to others and wonder why they seem to be moving ahead while you're waiting. But everyone's path is different, and their pace has nothing to do with your promise. Divine timing is tailored. It considers everything: your habits, your mental state, your readiness to handle pressure, your ability to lead, your capacity to serve, and your willingness to stay rooted when the spotlight comes. What looks like a delay is often a season of deep alignment. In this time, you're being equipped with what you'll need at the next level. You're learning patience, mastering discipline, and developing the emotional endurance that success demands. The longer it takes, the stronger your foundation becomes. When the time finally comes, you won't have to force anything. What's meant for you will move toward you, and you will recognize it with clarity, not confusion. That's the beauty of divine timing. It brings peace with progress. It delivers what you need when you can carry it with wisdom, not fear. Of your blessings that can't arrive until your perspective shifts, until you stop rushing and start trusting, until you stop striving for control and start surrendering to process. The delay isn't meant to discourage you. It's meant to develop you so that what's given to you in the next season doesn't just change your circumstances, it elevates your entire life. The blessing that's being prepared for you is not just about you. It's not only meant to answer your prayers or fulfill your desires. It's meant to reach beyond you, to impact others, to shift atmospheres, and to break cycles that existed long before you were born. When something truly divine is coming into your life, it carries with it the weight of legacy. That's why the process feels so intense. That's why the road is longer, the lessons deeper, and the pruning more painful. Because what you're being entrusted with is sacred, and it was never meant to stop with you. You are not just the recipient, you are the vessel. Through you, others will heal. Through your breakthrough, others will believe. Through your elevation, others will find the courage to rise. This is why your process cannot be rushed. A shallow foundation can't support a generational assignment. You are not just being blessed, you are being positioned as a blessing. Your growth, your wisdom, your resilience are not simply personal victories. They are the seeds of transformation for people you haven't even met yet. There are people connected to your obedience. There are lives tied to your yes. When you rise, you make it easier for others to see what's possible. When you overcome, you show someone else they can too. And when you carry your blessing with humility and integrity, you set a standard that others will follow. You become a light in the dark. You become proof that faith is not foolish, that hard work, patience, and surrender can coexist with impact, abundance, and purpose. What's coming to you is not a random reward. It's a divine responsibility. It will elevate your life, yes, but it will also demand more from you. More awareness, more character, more stewardship. And that's not to overwhelm you. It's to align you. Because when you carry something that big, you can't afford to think small. You can't afford to live only for yourself. The blessing must stretch your vision. It must expand your capacity. It must awaken something in you that goes beyond survival or comfort. It must activate legacy. This is why the wait has been long. This is why the pressure has been real. Because you are being prepared not just to receive, but to carry something that will live beyond your name, beyond your lifetime, and into the lives of those who will be touched by the choices you make today.